Today's video is going to be about the event again and some context about this. So I was watching Elizabeth April's Galactic Federation Summit, and in there she asks, or somebody asked rather, and then she asks about the solar flash. So what it was said was that there is a 30% chance that it will occur, and that there's obviously a 70% chance that it won't. Now, what that meant for me, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what that meant then. So, I mean, my first reaction was maybe it's not accurate information. So I checked in. However, what I got was that it is accurate information. So I am now kind of confused. And so that's what this video is about. And to put out some clarity about this, what does this mean? So the information I got thus far when I tuned into this, though, is that it doesn't mean that there won't be an ascension. It doesn't mean there won't be an event. However, we do live in a multidimensional reality. And so there's multiple timelines. And I mean, the information I got is that I'm looking at it too linearly, and that I need to look at this more multidimensionally, and that there's way a lot of possibilities and options, and it hasn't been decided yet about which one is actually going to play out. So I just want to know more about this and what this means. And so if we don't have a solar event, we don't have a solar flash, will there be an event, or will the ascension proceed in a different way? What are the different ways that it may play out? I did get something about how this is a good thing. So this my first reaction was disappointment, as in, oh, they took something away, because I was really grasping onto, we're going to have a solar event, we're going to have the waves that they speak of, and everybody's going to then wake up, right? But it may not present in that way. So I want some clarity. I think I was told that it'd be good to offer this video to everybody so that everybody can understand further to what to expect, or what are the ways that it may occur, because I think some people are very, very against the solar flash. They think that it's fear-based. I myself thought that it was very loving and the way to go. However, I am getting some messages that is very scary, and it would scare a lot of people, especially the mainstream people. So there are other possibilities that are easier for the collective. So that is what this video is in response to. And so to give you some context here, okay? So I will channel Archangel Michael, because he's always the go-to for the event. He seems, I was told at one point that he is the one that is kind of orchestrating it in a sense. He's the one that is, not that he does it alone, but he's the one that kind of, I don't know, it's put in that way, that he's an orchestrator, I think is how they put it. So, all right. So let me call him in, and then Adriana will ask the questions here. Oh, and the information that I got before in my previous video still stands. It's still accurate in that there is the linear time for the people who would stay on the 3D Earth, or rather kind of the 4D Earth, because it's shifting then to the organic matrix system. And then those who would then go to the 5D new Earth. And so that is still true, that there would then still, it's sort of like there's two new Earths in a sense, and that the Earth is waking. This is, anyways, I did get some information too, that the one thing that might happen is that, okay, I will just say, the information I did get, I'm sorry, this is kind of disorganized as I talk. I did get that the solar flash was meant to be in which it would come down to then awaken the planet. But it may be unneeded. And so then the planet will awaken without the solar flash. So it's not needed, in which they send it down through the sun. And so then the planet would then awaken on its own through the core of the planet. Because how it was explained is that the sun, if it were the solar flash, would come down through the sun into the planet and then explode out. So then it would explode out from the people themselves, or the collective of the planet, and it would then come out. So I've talked a lot
Something
here.
that I'm just getting, I don't know if this is a download, but just is that is organic, right? And when, like in, I think it was our last channeling, when they were comparing stuff to kind of like cancer in the body, if something's coming in from the sun, from an outside source, we are going to more feel like it's an attack, because it's not coming from us. But if it's coming organically, then we're less afraid of it.
Right. I mean, it's all us, but for some people, they would view it that way, right? Yes. All right, so I will bring in Archangel Michael here. Okay. I'm getting something about Mother Sophia, or Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, whatever you want to call her. So I think that she's coming in. Yeah, she says she wants to speak. Okay, so we are calling in her, or she's coming in, rather. Yes. So I want to explain further about this so that you can understand what to expect and why it is so complex and complicated. So, for instance, I would first like to explain that the planet itself is waking up as a collective. And so it is an individual experience, but also the planet is rising. The planet is coming back to its timelessness, its freedom. It is liberating itself from the shackles that have been confining it. So we would like to explain further, we as in I and Archangel Michael here, would like to explain that there are two different planets, if you will. Simultaneously, there are two. One is organic and one is inorganic. The inorganic matrix is a false illusionary world. It exists in a skewed sense. So it is taking energy and making it dense. It is taking the illusion, for there are multiple illusions in that anything that you see is but only a possibility and a perspective. However, when you work with the third dimensional matrix system, it is a false identity of the truth. It is a false identity of any possibility. It is not in the most organic story that you would play out, meaning that you are limiting yourself in which you wouldn't limit yourself otherwise. It is holding you back from presenting yourself in the most loving way. It is telling yourself how you are that is holding you back. We are supposed to be growing, not holding you back. So that's where the illusion takes place, is that you are being held back and seeing yourself inaccurately instead of growing to understand yourself further, which is the truth. I hope that that makes sense. And what else would you like to know?
So, what different ways might the event play out?
There are many, many possibilities, but one is that the planet itself would rise. There are many different ways in which the planet would rise. If you are to understand a seed coming from the ground and forming into a plant, this would be similar to this, in which the organic matrix is being planted and then will grow and emerge into the physical. Now, the problem is that some people will not see the seed. Some people will not understand the seed exists. They will be taking the seed and making it the illusion, not understanding the seed as truth. Those who see in the organic, those that see the accurate self will grow with the plant. Those who see it as the illusion will see the seed as planted, but will not believe in the seed. This is a complex way of understanding that those who do not agree with the beliefs of others are telling themselves that they agree only with what they know. They are blaming themselves for things, telling themselves that they're the reason that bad things happen. However, they are not going to do anything about it. They want to stay part of the system. They want to believe what other people are telling them to do. And so even though they blame themselves and know that they are the problem, they do not want to solve the problem. They will fall into the timeline of living life without understanding themselves, without knowing themselves, without changing. They will stay the same, meaning that they will do what they are told. They will follow rules. They will not grow. They are not expanding. They are not ascending. And some are even descending. So without having a context of understanding yourself, you will be held back. These people will need to go to the old earth to relive themselves, meaning that they will be placed upon an earth which is not the truth. They will have to see the illusion. They will need a system in place. So they will need a form of confinement. They will need to have the energy in a dense form because they cannot understand it in any other way. So they overlap these earths that I speak of. One is in the fifth dimension and one is more in the fourth, yes, but it is so dense that they will not even see a fourth dimension. They will see more of a third dimension. However, there will be a play out without fear. So the fear is being released. If you will look at it more like a disease, the disease is leaving, we are healing. However, this does not mean that the body is feeling well. In that these people will believe that there is a disease in a sense when there isn't one. Now, this does not mean that they will be sad. They will feel actually good and that they are relieved from pain and suffering. The only reason that they hold themselves back is because they see themselves as needing to hold themselves back. And we have spoke again about karma and about the reincarnation cycle in which these people blame themselves from a soul perspective. They blame themselves for the problem. They say, I am the problem. I did something wrong, and so I must change. However, they are not changing. Does that make sense?
Yes. So they're choosing like is them choosing the confinement related to them not changing because it allows them to not change?
I could explain that further.
Is in a way the confinement, does that seem beneficial to them because it allows them to not change, because then what they can do is limited?
It is not that they don't want to change, it's that they don't believe that they can. So based off their knowledge, and we speak of a soul's perspective, they believe that they must resort to finding themselves again. They feel that they have gotten off path and that they need to choose another one. If I do it again, I will be relieved of pain and suffering. So they know that the illusion will be gone and that the 3D matrix system will be eliminated and the organic in place. They will then free themselves and be able to find themselves again. So they know that they can then see themselves. And then once they do, they can find themselves with changing to believe in themselves and to feel themselves and to be aware of themselves and to shift then into the knowledge and belief of the truth. Meaning that they will change once they eliminate the 3D. But this is holding themselves back. And to do this, I am quite ashamed actually in myself, because this is part of my collective being. But I also believe that it is possible and that they will do the best that they can.
So it answered the question because it's not related to the confinement. It's not that they're choosing the confinement, they're just choosing to...
They believe that they are liberated. They believe that once the system is down, that they will have the choice to come back in a different way. that there will be more opportunities once the illusion has been evaporated. However, what they are not understanding is that the freedom is there. They don't understand that they can find themselves without needing to do this.
Okay.
The confinement is there so that they do not. So let us explain. The system will go down. There is a 3D matrix system that is in place from the false belief, but also from pain and suffering. So people have been creating certain structures because of fear. Now, also, there has been lies that have been spread. And so it is a manifestation of falsities. Now, once the falsities leave, once the beliefs that are not accurate leave, so I am speaking of those in charge will no longer be placing those beliefs upon this society. There will be no need to then create certain structures. So there will be peace on earth, if you will, and new societies will be born. Change will arise over time, but these beings will hold themselves back through this. Once they gain the understanding that they didn't need to do this, then they will go into the new earth. They may be able to free themselves before the whole cycle of, meaning the 26,000 year cycle. It is possible for them to do it before.
Okay. So you have been talking about the inorganic matrix dissolving, but can you explain more about how it is going to dissolve?
I am getting it's not time for them to explain this.
Oh, okay.
That's very rarely occurs. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, I'm getting they don't want to explain that to me right now. And I don't know if that's just the viewers or that's just I don't know.
Collective.
They don't want to tell me right now. I can find out why. Let's see why. Okay. They just say it's part of the plan for it to be known at a later time. Huh. Okay. They said, do not focus on the system, focus on the escape from the system. So I guess the 3D matrix.
It doesn't matter how it disappears, it just matters how you get out of it.
I guess. I don't. They say it's more about why. Okay. They're just saying that I should focus on the organic system rather than the matrix. Yeah. Okay. Say, do not focus on time, focus on freedom. What was the question again?
Oh, I just
how the 3D matrix will dissolve?
Please explain how the inorganic matrix will dissolve without the solar flash. What other ways might
Wait,
occur?
what?
But that's not how I asked it.
What did you ask?
I said, can you explain more how it will disappear? That is what I said.
Interesting. Okay.
This was more specific.
And they said they don't want to tell me? Like,
but this was specific because you were talking about the solar flash.
okay. I don't know. They said they want to explain the event, but not in that way. Maybe we'll just let them explain the event then. Okay. Now I'm getting that this is Archangel Michael. Okay. The event doesn't happen overnight. There are multiple events that occurs simultaneously. There will be a certain percentage that moves on. This shall occur potentially. Okay. I don't like to give time frames. Okay. Not going through his, okay. He said for me in about like 10 years, maybe. I don't like time frames. All right. Okay, but that doesn't mean that everybody will have that time frame. That means everybody will move on in their own way at their own time. So there could be a solar flash, but even if there's a solar flash, it doesn't mean everybody goes to New Earth at that time. There may be a lag time in which then people have to prepare for their ascension. So this may make sense if you understand that everything happens in its own way in its own time. It's a multidimensional perspective. There can be multiple events, multiple perspectives, multiple playouts, multiple experiences of how this occurs. If you are to resist ascension, if people do not go into the light, if people do not understand themselves, if people hold themselves back, they will have to then resume their life. They would resume their life on a linear path. And if you are ready to take on the new system, the world will shift for you. You will then really see the light and move on into a different reality in a sense. You will see the earth in its organic form. You will actually move into the organic form. So the earth will, in a sense, be ready at a certain time. However, you may not actually take on your readiness at that time. You may not move into that knowingness, that shape and form in your reality until you yourself are at a stage that you can find it and know it. And how might you do that? How would you know that you are ready? How would you then move into the new earth? How would you move into the fifth dimension and understand the fifth dimension so that then you can see it and find it? It is a matter of working within. It is a matter of gaining the knowledge that it is possible and to see yourself in a multi-dimensional way. It may seem difficult. It may seem like this is something that could not happen for you. It may seem like that is a lie in a sense that is possible, but it is possible and you can do it. And one way to do that is to begin to shift your attention into the organic, shift your attention into the formlessness beyond the shapes to form the linear self. That doesn't have to be a God sense. It can be that you just place yourself into your higher self, into your multidimensional selves, and to ask to believe in them as you, to bring them into you, to place your attention upon yourselves rather than just yourself. So beyond the programming, beyond the personality self, the ego self, the body self, into a reality that makes sense in a multidimensional way. This can be presented without even having your third eye open, your chakras necessarily spinning at its best. What this means is to understand yourself beyond the physical sense. If you can understand yourself beyond the physical sense, you can understand then the matrix system beyond the illusion. You can escape time itself. This is a more complex this may need to be explained further, but it is possible and it does not have to be such a big feat. It can be taken on and it doesn't have to be as scary as you may think it to be. It wouldn't need to be happened overnight either. You could just begin to take on a perspective as your soul, a perspective of the self beyond this self. When you understand yourself as multiple selves, then you have begun to process and can then move further. Okay. What I'm getting is just, I'm kind of getting an image of moving up into the higher self, like moving from this to then like the higher state of your higher self. So I think of it as then bringing the higher self down, but instead merging with your higher self. So I'm thinking of it like the chakras, in which you can move the chakras up into another chakra. So you can like take your solar plexus and move it up into the heart, and you can move like your heart up into the crown. So it's kind of like moving up into a higher state of consciousness, blending with the soul beyond time. That seems like a big feat. It does to me. Okay. Okay. I just get the message, begin to move. Like move from this stage to the other. Move it. Okay, I've been getting a lot of messages about moving, but is this what they meant? Do not see yourself as the illusion, see yourself beyond the illusion. And I just get, it's possible. Okay, do you have any questions, Adriana? That seems like a lot. I'm sure you think that that's a lot. I can imagine. Is this what everybody has to do to get to the, I need to ask, is this what everybody needs to do to get to the new earth though? you need to move beyond the shapes and forms to the light body. You need to place your attention onto the light body and the light stream and hold that vibration. Okay. Do you have any questions?
It's just a whole thing.
I'm just like, wow. So okay, I just want to say that, like, I guess there's not like an easy route. You know, you think that the solar flash is going to come and like save you, I guess. Which I didn't think of it like that, okay, but I'm sure people
so my
do.
thing is because I'm like, well, this is a whole nother thing. But the comparison of it being a seed, it's like, it doesn't matter how the seed gets planted. What matters is that you see the seed.
And you become like the plant.
You have to, yeah, it's like you have to be the plant to see the plant. So it doesn't matter when the plant is there or how the plant gets there.
Okay. So far there's a lot that's been said here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's 2 Earths, but one is an illusion. So then the people that are holding themselves back, the people that are not moving forward, are going to be stuck in an illusion in which, so the goal is for us, our mission here is to know more of ourselves as God, right? Oneness. More of the consciousness of who and what we are. And I'm also getting like in a multiple sense, you know, a collective sense. So the people that are not moving forward haven't understood themselves. They're blaming themselves. They are coming back to be reincarnated. So they're going to continue in a linear sense on the old earth, but it's not truth. It's not truth now. So the systems are leaving, like the false beliefs are leaving. They're going to come back. They're going to be in an organic system, but they're not going to actually see the multidimensional self, which is really the truth of the planet. They're not going to see the 5th dimensional state of consciousness. Okay, so once the planet is ready and the systems fall, then we have the potential to go on. We have the potential anytime, I guess, to move on to the 5th dimension, but because time doesn't exist. But the planet will ascend linearly to the 5th dimension, and all the negative polarized beings will leave too, I believe. It's my understanding. And then people will who've been held back, or holding themselves back rather. So complex. It's kind of confusing. I get confused. There's a lot to it. So it's making more sense, but so they will play out their lives in linear sense and then come back for regenesis, which I will do a video on that. But they are basically starting over the whole 26,000 year cycle. And then we need to, after we can, I mean, you always can, but you can then move on to the new Earth 5D consciousness state, but you must merge with the light body and the self beyond, the self beyond the self. So you must become more of your light body self. That's just what I'm getting. Glorified body is what I'm getting. Oh gosh. Okay. You can go back in and get more. But I'm
Just
like, I want to.
if everything you said is true.
Okay. But I was wondering, is they never answered, like, is there an event? Will the collective see like an event? If it's not the solar flash, will we have like an event?
Well, basically, I don't think us decided.
But he said multiple events.
About it because
I don't know,
because she said she just used the seed comparison because she's like, it doesn't matter. Off that
well,
question.
they definitely didn't want to answer about how the matrix would fall. That's what I was gathering. They didn't want to answer. So, like, how the systems would fall, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get back in and just see what else, if anything, they would want to tell us. Okay. Okay. Archangel Michael says it's a fine way of putting it. Okay. He says that it's like there's two sides to the same coin, but with the two earths. Okay. Move into one side of the coin and you will always be connected to the other side of the coin. He's not wanting to talk through me. I don't know. He's giving, believe that I can, believe that you can take your consciousness from one side of the coin to the other. And don't hold myself back. I believe that you can. Okay, and then he's saying, don't believe you have to do a lot. It's not that hard. It's just consciously believing and knowing that you can. And moving into one consciousness from another. Because you've decided. It's all an illusion anyways. Okay. Because you have had a certain explanation, now you can understand that there are two earths. One is an illusion and one is truth. The illusion is true now, in that this is the state which you're at. But once the illusion breaks, you will not be confined. Then you can move into the new earth. Movement will not be resisted upon. If you were to try to do it now, there would be a lot of resistance from the planet itself, meaning that the fear-based entities would resist upon you. They would not allow you to do it. So once freedom occurs, once the planet organically ascends and frees itself, so there will be an event in that the matrix will collapse. This means that the shape and form that it is now will collapse. It will take on a new form. So it will take time if you are on the linear path, but it will change form. The beliefs will shift. The plan is to remove the entities. It is planned to remove the reptilian consciousness from the planet. Once the planet evolves, there will be a new energy that springs forth. It will not appear to most people, but you would feel it if you are in the organic matrix. You would feel the organic matrix before you would find the organic matrix. You would understand the organic matrix before you even then called upon you to move into that as a shape and a form. Oh. Okay. So once you understand the shape and the form of the organic matrix, once you feel it, then you can use that energy to then make the state of being that you want. So once you are in that state of being, then you can call forth the fifth dimension. Yes, you are a creator. You can then make that energy into then form. Oh. Okay. So we are. Okay. So the planet is okay. So the planet is rising. The planet is ascending. Once the planet ascends, it will liberate itself from the matrix that's holding us back. So like we have kind of like a ceiling on our energy. And it's like we can only go so far, sort of. Like there's a lot of forces holding us back. Like negative self-serving forces that hold us back. Like let's say we know there's above, so we can send it down.
But we can't go above it.
But we can't really go above it. So what I'm kind of getting is that once the matrix leaves, when the planet, the new energy will come in, we will feel the energy, and we then have that potential to understand that energy, and then we can manifest the new earth. We will be the creators of the new earth in form, because it won't have a form. We're going to be the manifestors. We manifest. So right now we manifest already, right? But there's like an agreed upon collective form that won't be there on the fifth dimension. We have the freedom to really create what we want. We would step into that. And since we wouldn't have that barrier, then it's like we merge. Although I think they want us to do this now, is begin to merge with our higher self. But especially when the matrix comes down, then we can move into, what I'm getting is the organic self, the multidimensional self, and it will be easier for us. So it may seem like daunting right now, but it won't be then. It's simply like going to the other stage is what I'm getting. Okay, I get it. It will be easy at that point. If you're ready for it, it will be easy then. The only reason it doesn't seem easy right now is because of our mind. And I get it. We have to move past that to the self that can. It's not easy, but it will be easy. So once the planet has ascended, it will be easy.
But that sounds like we have to kind of wait. So what are we supposed to be doing right now?
That's a good question.
Are we supposed to be trying to do it anyways?
That's a good question.
Because if we're not too, then how do we know when to do it?
That's a good question. Very good. Okay. Okay. Don't wait. See yourself as a multidimensional being. See yourself changed. See yourself as being able to do this. Find yourself that has been to the fifth dimension. Call in your future self, as time does not exist, that has already liberated itself, that has already achieved this, and then it shall be. For you will call in that timeline that has already been there, that has already been into the fifth dimension. Tapping into that, you will begin to create that which shall be. We would say that this is the simplest and easiest way for you to then form your new light body. See yourself as the light body. Begin to hear yourself as a light body. See yourself as a light body. Be in the new light body. Feel like you're in the light body. Visualize it. Know it. Sense it. Pretend, for there is no real pretending. And it shall be. Find that which you are. And I say are, not that you shall be, but are, because there is no state that you are not. Time is an illusion, and you can step into that right now. And the more that you do this, the quicker you will find it. You will bring about it on a collective level in the way that is most appropriate to you, in whichever way that is. What else would you like to know? Okay, so if we are sick of waiting for the ascension, what advice and messages do you have for us to feel more joyful and fulfilled? Do whatever is necessary to imagine that you are joyful and creative. And if you're sick of waiting, don't imagine yourself waiting. Imagine yourself in the fifth dimension. Become the fifth dimension yourself. Bring it down into earth. Imagine and become that which is. Become the energy. Bring down the energy. Know yourself as the energy. Merge with the energy and the form of the fifth dimension. You do not have to live in the 3D. Do not agree with the 3D as your reality. Find this reality as yourself. Find yourself in the 3D. For there are shapes and forms that could bring in the state of being that you are looking for, such as music, art, nature. Look for things that bring you enjoyment. Look for that energy that you are looking for, but also call on a new state of consciousness. Believe that there is more than the 3D. Believe multidimensionally that there exists a timelessness, that there are shapes and forms beyond this. Be more of a creator. Do not become sad and limited and give up in the sense that you are this. Decide that you are not this. Break free of your cage, seeing what is beyond the cage. And also call into the cage other beings, other moments, and other things that exist in the 3D that are more of an enjoyment. Be a creator and also liberator. Do not agree with the shapes and forms, but also call in the shapes and forms that you do more match with. have fun with it. Play around. What else would you like to know?
So as Heather said earlier, she brought up the negative self-serving, polarized beings. What will happen to them when the matrix falls?
They will go away. They will be removed and placed upon other planets which they do decide to go to, other planets that have aligned with that system. They will go forth and be reborn.
Okay, so I think our last question then is to go all the way back to the beginning. If we still had the solar flash, what would happen if we had that, and what would trigger that versus the organic one from the planet?
It wouldn't prevent the organic one. The organic one would still occur, although it would instigate the organic. It would come in through the sun, match the planet, and restore the planet to liberation. So energy would come forth, people would understand the energy, and then the planet would ascend. But if the planet can restore itself without that, it would be unneeded. The people would liberate themselves. The people would wake up. There would be a certain percentage of light on the planet, and then the planet would liberate itself from confinement, from this matrix system. And for this to take place, it would be needed. It would be that the people would not be able to wake up without it. We do not want to bring about fear, for it would shake the planet up. People would be in a panic. They would not understand. We do not want to do this unless it is the last resort. We have been holding off because we believe in you. We believe that it is possible. Only time will tell. We shall not wait long, but we will hold back for a little longer to see if it is necessary. That is all we have to say.
I think that's it.
They say they find it pleasing. Okay. Okay, guys. It's really a lot. I know a lot of people have been having that idea of needing the solar flash. Why is it not happening? So we are ascending. We have already had events. We continue to have events. We continue to have energy come from the sun. This would be some like massive explosion energy that they are saying that is unneeded, because people would panic, people would get really confused and scared, and they don't want to do that. Okay, so it's not holding us back. This is actually a good thing then. All right. Any last thoughts? Green?
I'm having a lot of thoughts, nothing to say on the video.
Okay, great. Sorry if it seems jumbled at times and like I wasn't organized, but this is a complex thing. So hopefully it did make sense. Ask questions in the comments as always. If you have any ideas of topics or things that you want for future videos, feel free to recommend them too in the comments below. Bye.